Southwest Florida has $5 billion in new development coming in right now. But the biggest winners may not be the neighborhoods people are talking about yet. After 27 years in this market, I'm breaking down where the projects are going and what it means before the repricing happens. For years, the joke with Cape Coral was pretty simple. If you wanted a real night out, like a nice dinner, a show, somewhere that still felt alive after 8 p.m., you crossed the bridge. Cape had the canals, the lifestyle, the weather, but never had a true downtown, nor a place where you could go and hang out. That was always somewhere else. But now that's changing. You've got over 245,000 people living here. And for most of the city's history, Cape Coral never had one main gathering place that felt like a real commercial center. So the big one fixing that is Coral Grove, a $700 million mixed-use town center going up on 131 acres along Pine Island Road. We're talking about 1,200 residences, a 125-room luxury hotel, and over 350,000 square feet of retail, dining, and entertainment space, plus a movie theater, bowling alley, live music venue, comedy club, and 2 public parks. The city estimates this project alone brings a $1.3 billion economic impact. Infrastructure construction starts in the summer of 2026, and building construction follows that fall. But that's not the only thing moving here, not even close. Down in South Cape, Bibney Square opened in February 2026. That's a $100 million waterfront development with a Lee Health outpatient medical facility on site, a waterfront restaurant with dock and dining boat slips, and a marina. The city backed it with tax increment financing too, so that tells you they're serious about this corridor. And by the time we get into what all of this means for buying or selling, that final section is where the strategy side starts to make sense. But let me finish Cape Coral first. Then you've got Victory Park, a massive 260-acre development right next to the VA Healthcare Center in Northeast Cape Coral, plus a Wyndham Hotel, over 225,000 square feet of medical space, plus commercial and residential zones. The Florida Department of Commerce put a $4 million grant behind it to get infrastructure moving, and the whole thing is built around the veteran community. And then there's the yacht club. If you know Cape Coral, you know what that place meant here. Hurricane Ian hit it hard, so they're not just patching it up and calling it good, and they're rebuilding it. This got $225 million in public investment, which is going into a new marina, expanded slips, a relocated boat ramp, a new community center, pool, fishing pier, and the boathouse grill coming back. So at the end of the day, Cape Coral is starting to make a real shift. This was always seen as more of a bedroom community. Now you're seeing the pieces of an urban core coming together. And what's happening across the bridge is a whole separate chapter. Fort Myers has the strongest bones in this whole metro. They got the River District, the Art Walk, real restaurants, walkable streets, and places where people already want to be. But the skyline, that part had been stuck for almost 20 years. The city had the culture, but it just hadn't grown up to match it yet. But that's changing now. And the most obvious sign is One Fort Myers. That's a 21-story boutique luxury condo tower going up right in the downtown core, and there are only 34 residences in the whole building. Prices start in the low $1 million and go way past that for the penthouses. The vertical construction started in March 2026. This is for the buyer who wants to be in the River District, in a building that almost nobody else gets into. And when a developer commits to something like that, it tells you where they think Fort Myers is going. There's also the Royal Palm Square, that older shopping center at the base of the Midpoint Bridge, which was torn down. What's replacing it is a big block of new residences, a 130-room Element Hotel by Marriott with a rooftop restaurant and medical office space in partnership with Lee Health. And they aim to deliver it between early 2027 and early 2028. And then there's Grande Calusa. That's going on the old Sanibel outlet site before Ian came through and changed everything there. We're talking 2 20-story towers of energy-efficient residences, an hotel, a performing arts center, and rooftop gardens. The whole thing is designed to be carbon neutral and able to run off grid. That's not the normal Southwest Florida project. Now, this next one is a big deal for anyone thinking about retiring here. Lee Health is building a brand new replacement hospital on a 53-acre site at Colonial and Challenger Boulevards. The original investment was in the high hundreds of millions, with a total of $435 million. So now you're talking about nearly $1 billion going into one healthcare facility. And when we get into buyers and sellers, this hospital changes the math for people comparing Southwest Florida to other Sunbelt markets. Stick around. Now, when it opens in early 2028, it will have hundreds of patient beds, 18 operating rooms, a large emergency department, and an on-site child development center. For buyers in their 50s and 60s looking at where to spend the next phase of life, something like that can be the tiebreaker. And it's landing right here. There's also a Hilton Temple Hotel in the works for the River District. That one is designed to support the convention center and bring more activity connectivity to First Street. The CRA is backing it too. The River District was the most walkable, most active, most cultural part of this metro. Now it's getting a luxury tower, a new hotel, a rebuilt mixed-use hub, a carbon-neutral community on the old outlet site, and a near billion-dollar hospital in the medical corridor. All of that is moving at the same time. And speaking of where this market is headed, if you're watching because you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, or Lehigh Acres, I'd love to help you cut through the noise. All my contact info is in the description below. Reach out. Back to Fort Myers, because all of this sets up what's coming east of the interstate, and that's the part that catches people flat-footed. I grew up around Lehigh Acres. My parents still live nearby, and I know the reputation. Affordable, working class, spread out, and not the first place people bring up when they're talking about where the next wave of growth is going. And that's why what's happening there right now is so interesting. The big project here is Kingston, a master planned community going up on 7,600 acres in the Estero and southeastern Lee County region. It sits right on the edge between the more established Fort Myers market and the Lehigh growth zone. Camerata Companies is developing it with Lennar and Pulte, and when it's finished, you're looking at roughly 10,000 homes, 700,000 square feet of commercial space, an hotel, and a K-8 school right there on site. They broke ground in November 2025. Now, when Kingston is done, this part of Lee County could have over 30,000 new residents. Nearly half the property, over 3,300 acres, is also being set aside for restored wildlife habitat and preserves. So this isn't just builders throwing houses on land. And then there's a long-term plan here. Now, running right alongside Kingston is the jobs piece. Amazon is building 650,000 square foot robotics fulfillment center on State Road 82. That's the largest industrial project in Lee County history. We're talking next generation AI sorting technology and thousands of direct full-time jobs when it opens in 2027, a rooftop solar array, and a zero waste design. And that's only 2 of the 30 active development projects in the Lehigh Acres Fort Myers area pipeline right now. But one of the other projects to know here is Stonewood. That's a 36-acre retail center breaking ground on Lee Boulevard. Suncoast Credit Union, Culver's, and national restaurant and coffee chain. I know that doesn't sound like the biggest headline in the world, but Lehigh has about 136,000 residents, and for years they've been underserved when it comes to basic retail and dining. So when that commercial piece starts filling in, it changes how people look at the area, and that's when values start moving. Jobs come first, then housing, retail, and the prices follow. Lehigh is at the jobs and housing stage right now. The retail is starting to show up. So if you're paying attention, I mean, you're still early. The region can only handle this kind of growth if the roads, the airport, and the bridges keep up with it. And that's where we're going next. You can build all the master plan communities you want, but if the roads are jammed, the airport is packed, and the bridges can't move people, none of it works the way it's supposed to. So let's look at that part. The biggest investment right now is at Southwest Florida International Airport. RSW handled over 11 million passengers in 2024, and there's a $1.1 billion terminal expansion already underway. That includes a new Concourse E with more gates, a redesigned ticketing lobby, updated TSA checkpoints, and new baggage handling systems. Phase 2 broke ground in March 2025, and they're targeting completion in 2027. And is being funded through airport revenue bonds and passenger fees, not local property taxes. Then you've got the roads. The I-75 corridor through Lee County is being redesigned, and the Colonial Boulevard interchange was rebuilt in June 2025 as a diverging diamond interchange. And if you've driven it, you know it moves better now. The same type of conversion is happening at the Daniels Parkway interchange, and that's targeting completion in 2028. Daniels Parkway itself is also being widened to handle more traffic going toward the airport and the new development south and east. Now, for Cape Coral specifically, the bridge situation matters. We talked about this earlier. So much of the city's traffic funnels through 2 crossings, and the Cape Coral Bridge expansion has been approved. The current 2-bridge setup is getting replaced with 2 new 3-lane bridges, a total of 6 lanes, plus shared paths for cyclists and pedestrians. Construction starts in 2028, and that's the thing with this region right now. A lot of fast-growing markets take the growth first, then scramble to fix the roads later. But here, you're seeing the infrastructure investment coming in while the growth is happening. They're building for where the population is going, not just where it is today. If you're making a long-term bet on Southwest Florida, it matters. So now you've seen what's being built. Let's talk about what it means for your next move. Right now, buyers have negotiating power they haven't had in years. With prices down from that post-pandemic peak and inventory up, sellers are having to work harder to get offers. That's the market we're in, but this window doesn't stay open forever. And the reason is everything we just talked about. When Coral Grove opens and people can see it, that changes how they look at Cape Coral. Perception drives pricing. I've seen this happen before, and you want to own before the ribbon cutting, not after. And the same thing with the Lee Health hospital. The day those doors open in 2028, the buyer conversation changes. Retirees, pre-retirees, and anyone comparing Southwest Florida to other Sunbelt markets are going to look at this area differently when that level of healthcare is right here. For investors and buyers looking 5 to 10 years out, the Kingston area is still early. Builders like Lennar and Pulte set the price floor around them, and when that floor moves, the surrounding area moves with it. 38 active development projects in one district tells you there's a real long-term case here. And for sellers, the market has cooled from its highs, but the development pipeline we just walked through is your tailwind. So price your home right, position it well, and you're working with fundamentals that are stronger than most people realize right now. More than $5 billion in verified investments hitting Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and the Eastern Lee County region all at the same time. And it's happening while buyers still have room to negotiate. Now, if you're looking at these places, reach out to me at german@swflhouses.com and let's figure out where your next move makes the most sense. And hey, if you want to go deeper on the mega projects shaping this region, I linked the video right here on Southwest Florida's insane mega projects. There's stuff in there that goes beyond what we covered today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.